Hi, Shanna here. Welcome to my channel all about finding joy while living with autoimmunity. I am so glad to have you here. So today I'm talking about how I travel on the autoimmune protocol, how I meal prep to travel on the autoimmune protocol. So we are driving down to California. It is about an 11-hour drive from where we live, and we will be staying with family. So I will have access to a kitchen for part of the time, but then I'll be staying in a hotel for 3 nights, 4 days while I take my NTP written and practical finals and attend my final workshop, and then I graduate as a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm so excited. It's been an amazing program. So I am sharing how I meal prep for traveling on the AIP. As I mentioned, we are driving down to California. We are stopping in Vegas for 1 night, and then we will make the rest of the drive. And so I wanted to share what I'm packing. For me, meal prepping for a trip, I never like meal prep right before and then go. I usually start a few weeks prior to the trip. And basically how I do it is whenever I'm cooking a meal, I'm cooking dinner, or I'm cooking a meal, I always double it or triple it. And then usually we eat the leftovers for lunch the next day or for dinner the next day. It just cuts down on cooking time on the autoimmune protocol because, as you know, on the AIP, it can be really a lot of cooking and cleanup. And so anytime I cook, I try to be really mindful to make extras. And so the weeks leading up to a trip like this, instead of saving the leftovers for a meal the next day or a few days after, I go ahead and I portion out the leftovers and I stick them in the freezer. So I use glass Snapware. This is my favorite kind. I will link it below. They have all different kinds of sizes. This kind I got at Target. I'm not sure what brand it is, but I am not a fan of this kind. I only use this kind when I run out of my favorite kind. And my favorite kind you can get it on Amazon. You can also check your local Costco. I got a few sets at my local Costco. This kind, they do have ones that have a divider in them, so you get like a bigger section and then a smaller section. And so if you want to freeze 2 different meal items but keep them separate, you can get something like this, and they do have some that has a divider in it too. So I go ahead and I start freezing individual portions of meals for me, so I can eat AIP as I travel. I do have some reintroductions. I think most of these are actually strict elimination phase. Most of the time I do still eat on the elimination phase because I do feel best on the elimination phase, but I do have some re-intros. But I figure out how many meals I need for while I'm traveling, while I'm going to be gone. And if I don't have enough, then the week prior to my trip, if I feel like I'm stressed out from the extra travel plans, or I feel like I'm going to be too busy, then I go ahead and I order some Paleo on the go items. Paleo on the go is an AIP meal delivery system. They have Whole30 options, they have keto options, and I go ahead and fill in the blanks with what I need for traveling with Paleo on the go. And I usually do keep some Paleo on the go meals in the freezer for those like busy nights when my husband and I go on date night, if we don't want to cook and I want to eat something first or pack it with me. Or we have those like busy mom nights where we're just like running around crazy and it's just easier to grab something out for the rest of the family. Well, I love having a Paleo on the go or AIP option in the freezer so I can just get it out for a night like that, or if I'm not feeling well. So we are staying with family for part of our trip, so I will have access to a kitchen for a few days. With that said, I don't feel like cooking a lot on vacation. It's always hard to cook when it's not in your own kitchen and you don't know where everything is, and then you have to go grocery shopping. And so I like to avoid cooking on vacation when possible. I know the location of where we're gonna be, and they have some good, healthier options for eating out for the rest of my family. I will go to the store when I get there. So both my kids are gluten-free and my husband has no dietary restrictions for health reasons. With that said, he does eat mostly gluten-free, paleo, except when he's like out working or something. And so our plan when we travel on vacation, if we stay somewhere where we have a kitchen and I want to cook, like we fly somewhere and I want to cook, then we'll go grocery shopping and cook, and we'll still research and find a few places that we can eat out at that has AIP options. But in this case, it's a trip that I don't feel like cooking. And so when we get in, I'll go ahead and go to the grocery store, kind of like, they don't have a Whole Foods there, but kind of like a Whole Foods type store. It's called Sprouts. And I'll go ahead and I'll get some healthy options for my husband and kids for breakfast and for lunches, and then we'll go ahead and go out to eat for our dinners. I'm not planning on eating out except for once or twice. I found a couple places that I am excited to eat out at. One of them is a grass-fed burger place that's really good. That's really awesome. It is called Burger Lounge. They have a lot of locations all over Southern California, maybe in other areas too of the nation, I'm not sure. But they have a paleo burger that you can modify to be AIP. And then they have some organic side salads too if you bring your own dressing or something. With that said, it's really important to be mindful when you're eating out, to communicate with where you're eating about cross-contamination and other issues. But I've eaten at Burger Lounge other times and I've never had an issue there. So I'm really excited to get grass-fed AIP burger there. For the most part, I will be bringing my own meals. So I'm gonna be on a full week and I have enough meals here for sure to cover me for lunch and dinners. This time of year, I do like to eat more of like a hash or like a hearty breakfast with like a fat, a protein and a carbohydrate in the form of vegetables. But with that said, that would be packing even more meals to be able to do that for breakfast too. And so I'm planning on, it's still warm in Southern California, I'm planning on green smoothies for breakfast most mornings. And so I bring so at home I have a blend tech that I love to use for like soups and smoothies and different things. When I travel, I use a Nutribullet. It is easy to pack in my suitcase. I've flown with it a few times. And so you just put all your smoothie ingredients in there and you just twist it and it's good to go. So I usually do, if I'm staying in a hotel, I do bring a little thing of dish soap so that I can like wash it out in between uses. And my favorite kind of smoothie recipe, I will link it below. As far as what I put in my smoothies, I like water, spinach. You could use like a variety of other greens. I do like half of an avocado, and then I do some collagen peptides, and then some kind of fruit, either like raspberries or half a banana, or I love like a little bit of frozen pineapple in it. And so I just encourage you, if you are on AIP, just be mindful of how much fruit you're eating because that could affect how you're feeling too. As far as how I heat up my food, so for the first few days I will have access to a kitchen so I could just heat it up in a skillet. But as far as in the hotel, I am bringing this is like one of my favorite travel hacks. It is a mini portable oven, and you just plug it in and you put your food in. It does take a little bit of time to heat up food. By the time I heat up my food, I try to make sure it is thawed. I travel with it frozen, and I try to keep it frozen. But I'll like take it out and thaw it out before I heat it up so that it heats up faster. I guess you can actually cook like regular meals in the portable oven too. I haven't tried it yet. I've only used it to heat up like my frozen meals or my paleo on the go meals. So, but I love this. I will link it below. I got mine on Amazon. So as far as how I keep my food frozen and cold, if I travel by plane, I got this cooler backpack. The brand is Torrit, and I got it from, I think this is like I think this one holds like 30 cans. They're like, the capacity is measured by how many cans it holds. So I've never put cans in it, but this one is the 30 can holder. I will link it down below, but this works really well. And you just open it up and you can fit all kinds of stuff in there. So it's awesome. I love this for airplane travel, and these fit really well in here. I've gotten through security with this stuff, no problem. You just kind of tell them, hey, yeah, I just have food in there, and they just take like a closer look at it. Just make sure that your food is frozen, especially if it's like a soup, because obviously you can't take liquid on. As far as our trip this week, we are going by car, so I'm just using this little cooler. It is like a Yeti knockoff. Funny story, we actually bought some furniture in the summertime, and they were having like get like this cooler for like 25 bucks if you buy furniture. So we got a couple of these. These keep the food really, really cold, frozen, and so like I said, I've just been putting leftovers in my freezer. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I have here. Okay, so this looks like, I should have totally labeled these. I've been putting Post-it notes in my fridge for leftovers, so I remember when I cook something, so I'll say like, eat on or before Monday, or eat on or before Wednesday, because when you have like a bunch of different leftovers, it can be hard to know like, okay, what day did I make that, and when do I need to eat this by, and then you end up throwing food away when it's like, ugh. So I've been really good about keeping track in my fridge when I can eat certain leftovers by, and then I just realized I should be doing that in the freezer too, because I'm like, what is this? I can tell what it is pretty much, but sometimes it's hard to tell when stuff's frozen. This is the hamburger stew recipe from the Healing Kitchen, and I made it with chicken broth, and instead of the beef broth, I made it with ground turkey instead of the ground beef, and I made it with sweet potatoes instead of the plantains. but the base recipe is from the Healing Kitchen. It is the hamburger stew. So that's what this is. This is a hash. Nope, this is also that same thing. This is the pumpkin chili recipe. These are two of the pumpkin chili recipes, also from the Healing Kitchen. Half my family loves that recipe and half my family's not crazy about it. So when that happens, I just freeze the leftovers because I love the recipe, and if they're not gonna appreciate it, I wanna freeze it and enjoy it later. So this is the pumpkin chili recipe. This is a hash. It's got squash, yellow squash, zucchini, turkey, red sweet potato, white sweet potato, mushrooms, onions, and I think this is organic ground turkey. And it's probably got some coconut aminos in it and some garlic powder and some pink salt. So we don't use recipes. Usually when we throw together hashes, we just kind of throw them together and they usually taste pretty good. And then you get, and when I make hash, I love, when I reheat it for breakfast, I love to add like cinnamon and pink salt to it. And it's kind of, I don't know, I just really love it for breakfast. So this is Mongolian beef. So I just made AIP Mongolian beef for the first time last weekend, and it was really good. I used the recipe from, should be holding it this way. I used the recipe from the Autoimmune Protocol Comfort Food Cookbook. It's a new cookbook by Michelle Hoover of Unbound Wellness. I've tried a couple of her recipes in there and love them so much. So this is her Mongolian beef. I served it with cauliflower rice, and so I just threw the leftovers in here, and super excited about that one. Oh, this one is a grass-fed burger patty with sweet potato fries that we had made one night. I think my husband made that. So we just had a little bit of leftovers, so I threw it in the freezer. This is also some hamburger stew, I think, like with the variations that I mentioned. What is this? I am not sure what these are. These will be a mystery, a stew or a soup of some sort. It will be a AIP mystery surprise meal. I know I like it because I froze it. But yeah, and this is another hash. So those are the meals that I am packing that I had in my freezer. If you do not have enough meals in your freezer and you're going on a trip, you could always just like make a whole meal or double it and just put it all in individual portions. So as far as my Paleo on the go meals, I have their beef breakfast empanada. Love those. I usually don't eat it for breakfast. I usually eat it for like a lunch or dinner paired with like some like mixed greens or some vegetables, but yeah, love those. And then this is, oh my gosh, they have pizza pockets, AIP pizza pockets. They're really good. So I bring in one of those and again, I'll pair it with like some kind of vegetable. Love, love, love their spinach and mushroom beef lasagna. It's with grass-fed ground beef. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorites. The winner for my favorite Paleo on the go meal is their AIP homemade chicken pot pie. I love this. It is my favorite. It is so good. I love the crust. I love the filling. It's amazing. I would love to eat it every day. Paleo on the go can be a bit pricey, but I think of it as it's what I do instead of eating out at a restaurant. So if you look at it that way, or if you look at it as a treat, as long as you're not eating it every day, it's like a special treat, or it's instead of eating out, that's kind of how I justify what it costs. And also I do have a discount code. If you use the code SHANNA, SHANNA, you'll get $15 off. So any order, use that code and you get $15 off, so pretty awesome. Also, I'm trying a new Paleo on the go meal that I haven't tried yet. I'm really excited to try. I've heard awesome things about it. It is their grass-fed taco beef kit. It comes with their grass-fed beef for the tacos. It comes with their salsa verde. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Salsa verde. And Paleo tortillas. So, and I'll probably add some more like veggies to that too, but I'm really excited. And it feeds, so it comes with a six pack of the tortillas. So this isn't just like a one serving. This is like multiple servings. Okay, so what do I do about snacks if I'm out and about while I'm traveling and I'm hungry in between meals? How do I handle that? So I always pack plenty of AIP snacks. I will say I'm typically not an AIP snacker at home. I stick to my 3 macro balanced meals, and that's how I feel best. And they are like larger portion meals because I'm eating properly prepared, nutrient dense whole foods, and so I eat a good amount of food. So at home, I do not snack a lot, but for some reason, as I'm traveling, I get like some superhuman hunger going on, and I usually do snack when I'm traveling because I get really hungry. And so a few of my favorite snacks, and again, I make sure I order these a couple weeks prior to traveling just to make sure I have them on hand. I love Wild Zora makes these meat and veggie bars. My favorite is the apple and pork flavor. And so I just buy a box of these and I get them on Amazon. I will link them down below, and I just love to have them when I travel. Also, I love Paleo Angel Power Balls. They're AIP. Most of their flavors are AIP. There's a couple that are not. The chocolate brownie is not. My kids love that flavor. My favorite is the carob fudge cake. And I also love the vanilla cupcakes. So I get these on Amazon. That's why they're in like packaged like this. So I get like packs of 4, and I usually typically only eat these like when I'm traveling for the most part. So I get those, and then also, so those can be a sweet treat, or I love Paleo on the Go has carob chunk cookies that are AIP that are so good. I actually eat them frozen. I haven't tried one thawed out yet. They're really good. I love these, and that way if I'm traveling and everyone else is having like a dessert, and I feel like having like a little sweet treat, I've got something. Also hydration. So hydration is incredibly important when it comes to health and wellness, especially autoimmune health and wellness. In fact, mild signs of dehydration can mimic autoimmune symptoms even. And so I'm very mindful as I travel to stay hydrated. I bring my favorite water bottle, and I just make sure I have access to plenty of water, and that I am making myself stay hydrated throughout the day so that I can feel my best as I travel. Those are my tips for AIP meal prepping, for traveling on the AIP. I also have an AIP travel tips video specifically targeted for airplane travel and staying at a hotel. So I will link that down below if you're interested in that. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. I publish new videos every week, so if you don't want to miss any, please hit subscribe. And please just know I'm cheering you on. Like, living with autoimmunity, traveling on the AIP can be so hard, and so please just know you've got this, you can do it. Yeah, it takes extra work, it takes extra preparation, but in my mind it's 100% worth it. So I hope you have an amazing week.